Most men out here are users. They only see women as tools to make life easier for themselves, get things done, and get sexual satisfaction. Case in study, the American rapper Slim Thug.
Rapper Slim Thug believes men won't need women once robots learn to cook, clean, and be intimate. He compares women to robots, declaring that the latter come without feelings and aren't attempting to take himself and other men down, as he alleges women are prone to do. Here's my favorite part. They're gonna have to really come with something now. I got a robot to cook and clean for me and do all that, so what I need you for? What I don't think men like Slim Thug realize is that they're telling on themselves. Good men aren't always complaining about how women don't cook and women don't clean and women aren't intimate with them. It's the raggedy men that can't get any woman to care enough about them to do those things that are always complaining. Whatever happened to you guys getting your passports? Oh, I remember. Those women didn't want to be slaves either. Nobody wants to fan you and feed you grapes while they're massaging your big, fat, funky, ashy, corn-having feet because you guys aren't worth that kind of treatment. There are men right now who don't have to get a passport or program a robot to get the kind of treatment that you're asking for because they're good men and people want to do it for them. Whenever you hear a man complain about how women don't do this or they don't do that, just realize that the for him is silent.
Reading through the article, I found some of the statements he made very interesting. Let's have a quick look. I'm looking forward to this free time that comes with having a robot and being able to live a free life and spend time with family, the 44-year-old told viewers of his broadcast. He then began to allude how robots perform tasks without seeming moodiness or lack of cooperation of women doing similar duties. I'm looking forward to good help, real help without attitude, the hitmaker added. Slim Thug continued to compare women to robots, declaring that the latter come without feelings and bitching and aren't attempting to take himself or other men down, as he alleges women are prone to do. That's quite interesting to know and revealing as well. It's not like we women are not aware of what men want from women. It's not like we don't know what's going on. But it sounds different when you hear men say it. It sounds different when they confess to it. You know what I mean? So he's saying all he needs is help, real help, true help, without attitude. So he gets with women or with a woman because he wants help from that woman, and that's all that he wants from her. He doesn't care about her. He doesn't want to connect with her. He doesn't want emotional connection. All he wants is just the help he can get from her. Interesting.
What kind of world do we live in where a normal, regular girl cannot find just a regular guy out here to date? Because these guys don't want a real woman. They want a fantasy. They want to live in this fake fantasy world. They would rather jack off to some screen, to some robot, rather than actually deal with a real human being and what comes with that. You know why? Because it's easier.
You know what? She's right. It is easier. Because it means as a man, you don't have to put up with the relentless, ever-increasing demands and unrealistic expectations of today's modern women. You don't have to put up with the narcissism and delusions that they live by. You don't have to put up with their toxicity and drama, something that today's modern women wallow in and are defined by. And it means as a man that you have peace in your life, not the constant turmoil that today's modern women bring to any relationship. It really is that simple. Yet these women can't seem to grasp it.
The movement of feminism is the ultimate example of not choosing your enemies wisely. You chose men as being the enemy. 40 years later, 50 years later, you're 65 years old, single, not married, no kids. You're living in an apartment or a condo with a dog or a cat. That's all you ever talk about. And you're lonely and you're sitting there saying, I was wrong. Men are not the enemy. But guess what? That movement stole 50 years of your life. You know how painful that is?
Dear men, stop hating feminism. When you are accustomed to privilege, equality feels like oppression. Feminism have not done anything to subvert women's interest in being married and having children. Rather, it is coming to the realization that marriage and family have always benefited men and does not have any benefit for women. So when you sit as a man on this platform and you make all these erroneous ideas about feminism, it is laughable. And who said that women who are never married and do not have a child will be in their 60s, be in a nice condominium or apartment, have money for retirement, can travel the world, do anything they want? Who said you're going to sit and regret? Do you know how difficult it is for women to be with men in the name of relationship and marriage? Do you know the chronic stress that married women go through? If you really want to understand the perspective of women on marriage, talk to your grandmothers and talk to your mothers. They are the ones filled with pain, with regret, and with resentment. I always say this: men came out of women. Men were birthed by women, but they have no empathy and they cannot connect with women because most of them saw their mothers struggle. They saw their mothers in pain. They saw their mothers cry and filled with resentment. Yet men have not sat down to have that conversation with the women who birthed them and the women in their family to understand their perspectives on marriage and relationship with men.
This explains why some men are not interested in building emotional connection with their wives and girlfriends. They are only interested in the sex, in using her as a slave to get things done and also to keep his lineage going. Men are selfish and self-centered. Some men don't like women. The only reason why some men get to be with women is because of what they want. What we know, what men want. They want sex. They want house slave that will get the house chores done, and also they want the continuity of their lineage. If men can get all these from robots, I don't think some of those men would want to have anything to do with women. And this explains why some men are comfortable sleeping around with as many women as possible. Case in study, the trending video of a government official of Equatorial Guinea. Equatorial Guinea official arrested over 400 sex tapes with VIPs, wives and sisters. His name is Baltasar Engonga. He is the Director General of National Financial Investigation Agency in Equatorial Guinea. He was being investigated for fraud. During the course of the investigation, the people investigating him saw sex tapes that he saved, recordings he made, and they decided to dig deeper. The footage found on his office premises is reported to include encounters with the wives of several high-ranking officials, such as the sister of the president, the wife of the police director general, and around 20 ministers' wives, amongst others. All encounters were recorded with the participants' consent, and scenes were reportedly filmed across various locations, including his office, hotels, and toilets. His sex video has been all over the internet. People are watching it, making money out of it. This man also slept with his cousin, his brother's wife, pregnant women, a whole lot. Over 400 and something women he slept with. If you're wondering, he is married and he's got kids. Sex is very important to most men, and some men are willing to do anything to have sex. That's why you see some men complain and insult women, body shame women when they feel like those women are not in shape. You would think the man is telling you to be in shape because he cares about you. No, he cares about him having fun with your body. That's why he's hammering on be in shape, so he will have good fun while having sex with you. How selfish can men be?
Women don't care about a man's struggle. They wait at the finish line and they bang the winners. Women are walking around today out of shape, obnoxious, ignorant, covered in tattoos, have short purple hair, still walk around thinking that they are queens.
I uploaded a picture comparing my body at 9 months pregnant to 1 month postpartum because I just had a baby. I captioned it and I said that women's bodies are amazing. A man, of course, always a man, decided to comment on that post, and he said, "Shit looked like my nutsack before and after." I struggle to see when men will learn to never comment on any of my posts, because I went to your profile, Marco, and there was a link in your bio, and upon clicking on that link, it sent me to a YouTube channel with 3 of your songs, and I listened to those songs, Marco.
Girl, I know you ain't perfect.
So how about, instead of coming on the internet to compare things to your nutsack, we get the balls to focus on our struggling music career? So let this be a lesson. The next time you want to come on the internet to talk about my body, my pregnancy body, my postpartum body, or any other women's for that matter, how about we just shut the fuck up and continue scrolling? See ya.
My relationship ended because he hated my body.
I really, really wish that this was one of those satirical videos that I usually do, but it's not. This is probably the hardest video that I will ever make, hopefully. I've debated a lot about sharing this story, but after talking to so many people in my life about this, I am finally kind of ready to share. It was a very long conversation. He kind of told me that he didn't want to tell me the reason why he wanted to break up with me, and I eventually kind of pried it out of him. He said that his therapist also wanted him to tell me the reasoning. He's just like sitting on the couch and he like raises his voice and he goes, "There are just things about your body that I hate." Oh my god. Awesome. If you guys didn't know, I've been pretty open about it. I had an ED for many years. I got treatment for it. After that, I was in another relationship that was extremely stressful, and I gained a lot of weight while I was in that relationship because I was stress eating. So within the last like 6 or 7 years, I've experienced both spectrums of relationships with food. So knowing that, you can imagine how difficult it was for me to kind of process that this was the reasoning. Apparently everything else about me was perfect, but he was not attracted to me. I wish I could go back in time and just hug myself, because my first reaction to it, to hearing that he wasn't attracted to me, was I wanted to fix it. I was like, how is there just an issue with like attraction in general in your life? Like, what is going on? Which is kind of funny because I feel like that response was kind of like, I definitely know it's not me, but like, what's going on? What's going on with you? But he like very confidently was like, no, I've been attracted to other women while we've been together. I'm obviously laughing now, but it was terrible. It was really terrible in the moment. After we had this conversation, I went back home to San Diego. We were still kind of navigating what to do, but I feel like after I heard all of those words, especially the word hate, I just knew that things could never ever go back to normal. Hate is just such a strong word to use about someone else's body, and I know that because like that's the word for so long that I used about my own body. And after going to San Diego, I immediately found a therapist because I was starting to do things that I just hadn't done in so many years. It took us a couple days to break up for real. I think after a little while he realized that he had made a mistake apparently, and he told me that he would stay with me and learn to get over these thoughts that he was having about me. And it's like, how do you stay with someone?
Please head on to her page to watch the rest of the video. It's quite a lengthy video and an interesting one as well. Men are just after what they can get from you as a woman. Not all men, but most men are after what they can get from you as a woman. They want your body to be in shape so they can have fun with your body. This explains why a lot of men are upset whenever they hear that a woman is celibate.
I was fed up with dating, so I decided to become celibate. I have currently been celibate for about 7 years now. I decided to become celibate due to spiritual development, tired of the dating apps, and just decided to focus solely on my spiritual growth. I started making TikTok content about 3 months ago about my celibacy journey. Since I publicly came out based on my decision to become celibate, I have received a lot of backlash, mainly from males, a lot of hate comments. The worst thing I have received is assault threat online. And this is from males twice my seniors. It's disgusting. Some of the comments I have received since sharing my celibacy story are who asked, also who would want to be with a person who's willing to do that. The sheer stubbornness and determination it would take to be in a relationship with a person would be a nightmare. I cannot see one single reason why this would be of interest to anybody. Another attention seeker. She has no idea what she's missing out on. She better not let me catch her in public. Sometimes it does take me back a bit, but other times I find myself calling my friends or family just to bring me back to reality, to remind me that those people don't know me.
Men do not have your best interest. Instead of working on themselves and elevating themselves, they would rather ruin you. I was tagged in a video, which it was a joke, it was a skit by a couple of the woman standing in the kitchen being like, the gym is making her look a little too good, making her look like she's out of my league. Pans over to the man, he's like handing her ice cream or high calorie fattening food because he wants her to be less beautiful, because he is threatened by her beauty. And this we see across the board. Men don't feel like enough, and oftentimes men are not enough for the women that they are around. The women around them are settling for less simply because they want proximity to relationship and romance, but these men are okay with that. They want to ruin you. We see this often when a woman is becoming more successful within her career, and then all of a sudden she's pregnant. All of a sudden a man wants to get married. All of a sudden he wants to have kids at the peak of her career. They do this to dismantle you. They do this to knock you down. They do this so that the attention comes off of you and onto them. It is a form of control. There is a reason they are so upset by women choosing to be single and to be child-free, because then in that way, they're not able to control those women.
Ladies, please know your worth. Don't let any man use you. Know the power you hold, the power you command. And always focus on yourself. Put yourself first. If you love watching videos like this, please click this video to watch why men are self-centered and always want to control women. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.